Don't take it for granted, man.
God.
I want a party. I want a freaking
You always
party,
want
man.
a party.
I see the players walking in. JJ McCarthy ain't took a snap in the NFL worth nothing. He's about to come out here and try to get busy in Chicago. Ryan Poles walking behind us did a phenomenal job this offseason.
Yes.
We got a whole bunch of stuff happening on Monday night.
Football
is back.
It is indeed. And let's dive in right there with the young man who, as I mentioned, grew up here in the area, came to his very first game against Minnesota, and now he quarterbacks at JJ McCarthy. And Jason, let's start with you.
Okay.
You're trying to ease the guy in. What do you do? How do you make the main thing and not let tonight be too big?
Well, they have a bunch of veterans. They have an outstanding coaching staff that can get him quick-hitting plays early. I think you get nakeds, some easy decision-making things. Because the reality is everybody remembers their first start. Everybody remembers the moment they step on an NFL field for the first time. And it is a big deal. And their whole life you've been prepping for this. And that is going through your head. But the reality is it's the same game you've always played. And at the end of the day, JJ McCarthy's in a great spot. He doesn't have to win the game. He's surrounded by incredible players around him. He just has to execute the offense. And that's what I would be trying to preach into his head right now.
Monday Night Football is like playoffs, man. Like we can't get around it. We get the opportunity to be here before the games. You feel the atmosphere. You understand that this is not just a regular game. Now they'll all tell us that in the interview. It's just it's just this week and this opponent. But when Monday night comes, when I was playing for Dallas, Monday Night Football is a big deal. So I think for this kid, more importantly, it's to that point, JK. And I always love hearing your insight because you had two young quarterbacks that had to play in primetime games. Big games. But I think this really comes down to Kevin O'Connell and how comfortable you are with how much you want to give him. Right. Because this offense now, as much as we talking about play within yourself and take care of the football, this offense has been explosive as hell.
No doubt.
With the last two quarterbacks that we've seen.
Top 10 in scoring last year.
Yeah, so I want to see how he's going to approach letting him go in this game.
I saw the quarterback coach, Josh McCown, as they walked in just a few moments ago, and I asked him, how do you keep the main thing? How do you not let it be too big? And we talked about that scene in Hoosiers where coach measures the bucket and says it's 10 feet, just like the one back in Hickory. So that's my favorite scene. And Ryan, during preseason, he got to play, but it's 44 snaps. That's how much tape you get to look at. What do you see there?
First off, this ain't Hickory.
Exactly.
Right?
That's Chicago, Illinois, baby.
It's the Windy City. This is Soldier Field. This is the place where we watch legends play. But JJ McCarthy can't let it be that. JJ McCarthy has to make it feel like I'm at practice. And this is what we saw from him early last preseason when he was tracking to be the starter. We're going to get play action pass. And now you're going to see that Kevin O'Connell makes sure that there are routes going across the field to his face. He stands into the pressure, makes a great throw on the crosser. He's also going to utilize the outside of the field where he gets easy read. All we're getting here is China 7, right? So he has to read the low corner in cover 2. The corner's going to bite on the China route. He knows he can get the football behind him to the post corner in front of the cover 2 safety. Now, this was one of my favorite plays and one of the first times we got to see JJ. Watch him go through his progression. He's going to start to the bottom of the screen here. He doesn't have an opportunity to throw the ball. As the pressure comes, he steps up. Look at the eyes of the linebackers on JJ McCarthy. Watch him thread this ball in between both of the hook players. JJ McCarthy got the stuff. The thing about what JK is saying, what Marcus is saying is, yes, it becomes just another game at some point. It's about how quickly it becomes that. You'll have the energy, you'll have the excitement, you'll have the butterflies. Maybe it takes a hit. And then once you get that hit, it's like I'm just playing the same game I've always loved to play.
You said it well. We're not in Hickory. We're in Chicago, Illinois. It's a divisional game to start his NFL career here on Monday Night Football. Great to be back with our friend Adam Schefter. And Adam, it's nice to have Justin Jefferson to throw the football to. Some questions about who else Minnesota has at their disposal in terms of receivers. But as for the men that will try to prevent them from passing the ball, who's available in the Chicago secondary?
Well, Scott, I can tell you this. We are just over about 90 minutes away from actives and inactives. And we know that the Bears are unlikely to have TJ Edwards at linebacker, which will be a blow to the way that they try to defend the run. But the real questions for for the Bears tonight are in the secondary. What the Vikings are waiting to see is who's active and who's not. Their star cornerback, Jalen Johnson, is listed as questionable with a calf and a groin injury. He's out on the practice field warming up right now. We'll see whether he's able to go tonight. Kyler Gordon, their nickelback, added to the injury report on Sunday with a hamstring injury, the same hamstring injury that sidelined him during training camp. So there are some significant questions in the Bears secondary that the Vikings coaches want to see whether or not they'll be able to exploit. Of course, the Bears don't have any sympathy for the Vikings. The Vikings will be missing Harrison Smith tonight. Their Pro Bowl safety didn't make the trip. He's out for tonight's game as well. So some key injury question marks as we await the first actives and inactives of the Monday Night Football season.
Appreciate that, Adam. Forget how nervy that could be, waiting to find out who's up and who's not. We'll wait for that as we wait for the final game of week 1 of this NFL season.
Again, with the head coaching debut of Ben Johnson, what should we know?
Well, Laura, we saw how much Ben Johnson not being in Detroit hurt the Lions on Sunday. Now we get a chance to see how much his presence means to the Chicago Bears. His head coaching debut. The organization did everything around Ben Johnson. He was the belle of the ball in the last head coaching cycle. The Bears got their man. Look for an up-tempo pace tonight. Look for a Caleb Williams to get to the line of scrimmage quickly. Look for the Bears offense to be improved. Meanwhile, JJ McCarthy will take his first NFL snap tonight, which is saying something. You remember last year that he was out for the year with a torn meniscus injury. All the other high-profile quarterbacks from his draft class played and shined, but JJ did. Tonight he gets to make his start in the city he grew up in, and the very first football game he ever attended was a Bears-Vikings game at Soldier Field. The first game of play will be something like that. And the Bears also will have some major question marks in their secondary tonight. We don't know whether they'll have Jalen Johnson or Kyler Gordon or some of the players that they didn't elevate any players from their practice squad, so perhaps they'll be getting some of those players back. But there are some question marks against a Vikings team that does like to throw the football and use play action to set up the pass. We'll see how that shakes out this evening on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, Adam, one interesting note, if Jalen Johnson doesn't go, Nashawn Wright would likely be the replacement there. He actually spent all of last year on the Vikings practice squad and scout team going up against Justin Jefferson. So he's got a lot of familiarity with a potential matchup today. Teams had just 3 wins and 2,312 losses when trailing by 15 points in the final 4 minutes of the fourth quarter since the turn of the century. Plus, they're the first team to do it in a season opener in NFL history. The Bills have now won 12 straight at home, the second longest streak in team history. Just monumental, right? But Mina, the huge moment late there, we've kind of been teasing this all show, in the fourth, when the Ravens decided to punt it on 4th and 2 in their own territory instead of trying to end the game with a first down. Do you agree with that decision?
No, hated it. First, I didn't like the 2 plays leading up to it, by the way. The first and second down, rather, ran into a stack box. They ran the sweep with Day, and there was nobody opposite him, so it was like easy for the Bills. And then you have the 3rd down to set up the 4th down decision. To me, this was an example of both the eyes and the numbers saying, go, go, go. The model, ESPN's model, I'm sure the Ravens model, all saying go, your chance to win the game, but also the humans on the field. Not just talking about the humans on the Ravens, although you have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, so you should have